just mentioned Shady Maple, Danny, when you weren't here, and thinking like,
how's that going to work? How is Shady Maple going to work?
Exactly.
What they've been doing is they've been doing. It's not no longer buffet. You just have to know what you want, and it's like waitered.
Oh,
which is it's not.
Oh,
the same.
really?
oh,
Yeah,
but is it still all you can eat and they bring it out?
I guess so. Yeah, it's still all you can eat, but you have to know
That
what you
makes
want,
sense.
and they can't bring you there.
You know, in England, you get one spoon when you're born, and that's the only one you get, and they have spoon millionaires. I think that's kind of how it is at Shady Maples. They just
yeah,
give
We've
you a
talked about this
ladle
before
a
on this
ladle.
podcast.
on the
There's
way in.
But there's also the cats, and then there's that cradle and the silver spoon you get, and the little boy blue.
You're trying to say that you didn't have time to hang out with your son. We all get it.
Hey, before
were
we
too
get
busy.
into
You were
weird-
too busy.
Son, just the other day, he said, "Thanks for the call, Dad, but I can't stay."
Before
I'm
we
just
get
like
into
you piece of crap, you were never there for me. How about that?
wow,
Whoa.
you did
Yeah,
rhyme.
that's-
See, you could be in our band if you just,
No, it's- That's-
did
Danny,
the
your
work.
dad is at my house and now he's weeping. Is that
My boy
based
was
on a
just
true
like
story?
me, it turns out.
Great job, Granddad.
All right. Speaking of deadbeat dads, let's go ahead and start the show. Welcome to the Adventures of Danny and Mike.
Wait a minute.
To my left, Mr. Danny Tamberelli.
I'm to nobody's left in my queue.
And to his left, Mr. Michael C. Maronna.
Hello.
And my name is Jeremy. And our special guest for the entire hour. Oh my God, you love her. You know her. She's been on this pod before, and she has a pod of her own we're going to talk about. Lori Beth Denberg's here. Welcome,
Hi,
Lori
kitty
Beth.
cat bunnies. Hello,
Hi.
hello.
Hey, LB.
Hello, my three loves. I love you guys. I miss you guys.
You know, I feel like Carol Baskin stole all of your bullshit. You know what I mean? Like you could say you could say hello, you cool cats and kittens, and you would have said felt like something you might have said a year ago, and it would have been like,
I
"Oh,
wouldn't
that's
have
so
said
cute,
that.
LB." I know. I'm just saying that just when
I
you just
know.
said that, like puppy, hey, little cute puppies and kids. I'm like, oh, I think of Carol Baskin.
Dan,
Especially when I let it with deadbeat
she'll
dads.
be dead soon.
She will be.
Okay.
She will be, and you and I will still be alive. That's right.
It's funny
Well,
that
like
they
when she's like, what, was I going to kill my husband, chop him up, and feed him to tigers on February 6th, 1974? That would be ridiculous.
No,
Yeah,
I mean, tigers wouldn't eat human beings unless you put a bunch of fish oil on them.
I don't know if you guys saw, but Ghost Adventurers did an episode at the farm
I
where
did
supposedly
see
the
it.
bodies were buried and they found
see
human remains, but I don't think it's went anywhere past that.
Oh,
This
they're
is-
on their,
yeah,
on
so-
their little EVP scanner. And it's like, is there anybody out here?
Yeah.
How many? 2. How'd you
Cool
die?
cats. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, oh God, that's scary.
Yeah.
Hello? Are you
But
there?
anywho.
Yes. Can we help you? Don't tell my wife I'm here.
I
think this might be the best, most scintillating beginning to a podcast of all time. Are we
A
about to
little-
win the potty for this?
Ooh, is there
I
a
think
potty?
we should
Because that's a
start
great
we should
award.
start an
We
award
can
called
flush
the
it right
Potties.
down the potty.
Yeah.
Precisely. The golden potty.
The
The
golden
golden
potty.
potty.
Now you're there.
It seems like you're in a golden potty with your backdrop. It's so nice.
I know.
Golden-y.
It's the duvet cover that I hung over my window at the beginning of the apocalypse. It's
So no one can see
disintegrating
you
behind
cry.
me. Yes, you're enjoying the lovely Southern California sunset behind me.
Oh, is
Yeah,
that
for
what
you
that is?
video episode viewers on Patreon, you get a live look into LB's bohemian podcast area with her. Yeah, so
She's been
if you want to check that out.
sleeping with Edie Brickell for 25 years after Paul Simon said, "Get out of my fucking bedroom, Mrs. Robinson."
No, she's an East Coaster. She wouldn't do that. She wouldn't go back over there. But LB, how are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm okay. I am. It's been stressful. Leading up to the election was extraordinarily stressful. After I've never worked so hard in my life to not be hopeful. Like
You just
during all of
didn't
it-
want to build it up to get disappointed. In other words,
Yeah, the amount. Oh, I think there's like one of my hair stuck to the microphone.
Well, this is
For
good.
the Patreon
send
user,
that.
we're gonna
Yeah, send that.
send that in, and if anybody wants it, to the highest bidder.
Clone.
So you can clone me. Yeah. So it had been such. I mean, a shit show dumpster fire. There's not really a word strong enough to describe what we have gone through, but so during the election, during election day and all, I just tried to stay neutral, not hopeful, and
Not get any hopes up.
Yeah, and I'm still, I'm betraying my intention with like, oh, if only Georgia goes well and we can get the Senate. So I'm still holding my breath about the Senate. You asked how I was, though, not necessarily about.
But it's about your mood and your feelings.
Your mental health.
I'm just sharing my experience. Experience. Yeah. Other than that, I'm good. My dad is good. He's gonna go in for a knee replacement, so I'm gonna be taking him through that, and that's scary because it's like, oh, I can't go in the hospital. Like usually, it can be like, what do you need me to bring you? Blah, blah, blah.
Now, who are you going to pull the football away from as he goes to kick the field goal?
Exactly. But on the not completely depressing, why am I talking about this on a podcast tip? We are in real life today, even though it won't be real life when this publishes. Today we are publishing the first inaugural episode of my podcast, Bad Advice with Lori Beth Denberg.
So by the time this comes out, check it out. Bad Advice with Lori Beth Denberg.
Yeah. By the time this comes out, you might have 2 episodes, to be honest.
Okay.
If this comes out next Wednesday, yeah. So
that sounds like
probably.
It sounds like you're pressuring her.
No.
It's kind of, I don't know about that. Why don't you let her, figure it
don't
out?
By
on
the
her own?
time this comes out, I might have 2 grandchildren, LB. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, a lot of pressure.
we may have cloned those 2.
Yeah, so I'm super stoked about that. I've wanted to do a podcast for forever. And with my friend Clark.
We seem to have been pushing you for a long time.
Yeah, we don't want to take all the credit. But,
you were right to. No, Jeremy, let me just tell everyone out in podcast land, Jeremy is like the man. Like it happened because of Jeremy.
He was repeated.
Michael and I have a small stake in Seltzer King's Studios production.
Yeah.
So
we helped to prod.
We helped oversee.
So did you help Jeremy with all of the editing work and the research he did and the writing he did?
I taught him half of that stuff that he knows.
Yeah.
I don't really see the Google Drive with the treasure trove of resources. I don't see you copied on there. I don't see you having editing rights.
It was a BCC. BCC does.
Oh, it's a BCC.
I said BCC. It was a blind carbon copy. When you want to email people but don't want anybody else to know.
Right.
Oh, I know all about it.
BCC.
So I had a lot of fun recording. We've recorded 2 episodes so far. We're going to record, I hope, 2 more tomorrow. But it's an advice show. It's called Bad Advice with Lori Beth Denberg, but it's actually a real advice show. Yeah. And we've gotten like great questions so far about, different, a vast array of issues, and some serious and some goofy. And my friend,
I'm thinking
Clark
about
Crozer,
voting in my first presidential election. How should I vote?
Exactly.
We missed that mark, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know. But my friend Clark Crozer was, he's my co-host. And actually, it's funny that you say that, Mike, because the show's not political. It's none of that shit. Honestly, because I don't think I could handle it, because I'm so angry, and like I wouldn't be able to have some like magnanimous conversation about anything. And I don't want to just yell.
You just have to be very raw about it, as opposed to circumspect.
But I'm not interested in a debate with someone. It's like, no, at this point, you're either a decent human being or should be sterilized.
Right, wrong. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. So that's why.
That's
why. Okay. Well, listen. So this is why my podcast is not political in nature.
No, we're convincing you to change it.
No. You're right. You're right to do that.
So because that's not the deal, that's not the deal. However, the day we smushed our first episode and recorded it happened to be the day that the election was called for Biden. So we did acknowledge that, like it's really time stamped. You know, this is the day. Everyone's going to remember this week for a long time.
Right. You can't separate that from the beginning of your podcast, is what you're saying. But it's not necessarily.
And then as well, it's kind of stamped in just like COVID time. You know, we've had it's not a what's going on today kind of podcast, but that just happened to be the opening. And I'm like, this isn't political, but we have to acknowledge just to let you know today is this day.
LB, I just have one question for you, and this goes back to this is an all that question from way back in the day.
Oh,
should I mention that I was in all that? I want advice.
Well, I'm saying, how upset were you that Amanda Bynes did Ask Ashley, and it's taken you to 22 years to have your own advice podcast? I'm just saying, is it something that you've been sitting on? Like,
these questions are 25 years old.
I had never thought of it, and now that I have, I realize I'm a failure. So
do you think President Clinton deserves to be reelected?
Mike, honey, you're so loud. You're burning my brain.
Do you think that President Clinton deserves to be reelected? I'm giving you a 25-year-old question.
Oh, yes. Precisely. Exactly.
But he got 8 years, Mike.
Do you think Northridge will recover from the quake? Will we ever rebuild?
Yet.
Will we ever rebuild?
There is earthquake talk.
You know that, right?
Yeah.
Yes. You told me.
Yeah. So no, the podcast was like really fun. It was more natural. I've lived a storied life. We've talked about some of it here. You know, outside issues with family and money and addiction and working with kids and all the crazy stuff. So I have a lot to offer. I feel in my advice, like I feel qualified to certainly not literally qualified with my thing on the wall, but
you could go to any online extracurricular college and you'll be just fine.
If the damn kids hadn't destroyed newspapers, you'd have a nice advice column somewhere, is what you're saying.
You know, exactly.
You could have a nice advice column.
Exactly. So that's
why call it bad
really
advice
excited.
if it's good advice is what I want to know. Really.
You know what? Jeremy is agreeing with you in his head so hardcore right now.
We had to stretch it out to an hour. If it was good advice, it'd just be a half hour.
We had an internal Seltzer Kings email go out about it.
It's on Seltz chat. It's our own internal messaging system.
I got stuck on the name. I thought it was cute and funny and goofy and devilish, but at the same time, sure, tune in. But the idea was never to give bad advice. And then the joke we used in a teaser or something was like, so just if you're not happy, try suing me and telling the judge you got bad advice from a show called Bad Advice. See if that'll stick.
They'll laugh you right out of court.
Yeah, I guess
Giuliani's
it just kind of like.
it.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
No politics.
I would love to see his dead body just going into the crematorium, just holding two dildos right here and just slowly receding back.
Oh, you're saying it's the Philadelphia crematorium. I see what you're getting at.
They only do that in Philly.
You drove. Yeah. It's called a Philly special.
Oh my God.
And then just a bunch of flowers from Four Seasons Landscaping.
You drove Jeremy away from the desk. You scared Jeremy. Anyway, and that's why Jeremy's such a good guy.
Well, having dog problems.
Richie went to the vet today. I don't know if we're allowed to talk about that.
Jeremy had to give his dog rescue breathing. He gives it direct mouth to mouth.
Mike and I have actual children. He has dog children.
Yeah,
he's got a bunny.
No, he's just having lung problems, and they're hoping it's not pneumonia. But
if you having lung problems, I feel bad for you, son.
Nope, not the line, but close. So yeah, he got a shot, and now he's just like, his back legs don't work when they give him these shot very well, so you got to pick him up and get him going, and yeah, it's. Hopefully, this is it, and he's on the mend.
And all you thought was being a little home for neglected dogs was going to be just fun and easy, and
Yeah, but you know what?
It's
good.
full of nothing but
it's life
hugs and
experience.
cuddles and licks and
there's a lot
pets.
of those though. It's
No,
amazing.
I know.
It's amazing to see because that's why we took him, and that's why we're concerned, because when you don't see that side of him anymore, and you don't see him like wrestling with you and biting your hands, and he's just kind of like loafing around.
You're saying that he's
concerned.
You're saying he's a little listless.
Yeah, and his cough is just horrible. It just went from bad to horrible to now it's like he can't even get it out, and it's bad. But he's gotten a shot and some pills, and we're hoping that does it, and then we'll know if the X-ray is positive.
So your dog is hopped up on goofballs, and you would like to give him breathing exercises, in other words.
No, I just want him to breathe. I just don't want him to die. No exercises. I just want him to, and that's why I just took him out, because it's 87 in the pod studio right now.
You old yellered your dog?
I gave him to Marla.
How nice would that be?
87 degrees in your podcast studio?
Right now, 87.
It's 37 degrees in New York City right now.
87 or 37?
It's 37 here outside. Well, 87 in the pod studio.
We'll remember in the pre-COVID days that we would gather in the studio and we would have a little temperature readout on Jeremy's CPU there, would show us exactly what So what does it say on that indicator right now, Jeremy?
87.
Yeah, let's take it back to 87.
Yeah. 19?
I think
that was the good year for Tom
Cool G Rap and DJ Polo just released Rags to Riches.
Nice.
Wood grain baseball cards.
Wood grain baseball
I
cards.
just think it's clear that Jeremy's shirt needs to come off.
I'll do it right now. I don't even care.
Bad advice from Lori Beth. She's really living up to
paying
it.
Dividends. I actually, there you go. I actually had my shirt up a little bit to show the old shitty tattoo, the early 90s tat.
I always think that that's a cuttlefish, but it's not, Jeremy. What is
cuttlefish? Yeah, it could be.
What is it, though?
It's, you know what this is I picked it out from a book, and it was from a guy who I later learned was in prison.
Was it the Quran?
For murder.
Oh, God.
The guy was in prison for murder.
Yep. And then when I saw it, I was like, oh, it looks like a J. I don't believe it's a J.
I think you were messed up when you thought it looked like a J. It looks like an S to me.
Yeah, it definitely looks like an S.
This does not make it a J at all. Yeah, whatever that is.
From far away, because I'm just seeing you in my little square, it looks like an S with a figure sitting in it. And the figure is a cross between the Jolly Green Giant, the genie from Disney's Aladdin, and a gorilla.
A mean ghost. It's a mean ghost.
It doesn't make a lot of sense.
It's like there was some three-way sperm split between the Jolly Green Giant, Magilla Gorilla, and the genie from Aladdin.
With the voice of Robin Williams.
The genie from Aladdin isn't. I mean, if you really wanted to, you could get the Robin Williams genes and just cut it out.
Please, Aladdin is my name. The genie is the monster.
Yeah, I threatened to get it covered a lot. I'm thinking about doing a mashup of aliens and dogs.
Who do you threaten? Who do you hold? Whose head do you hold that over? I threaten to get it covered. Yourself?
Marla's.
Yeah. I look in the mirror.
I guess it's a bad word. You're right. Yeah. But
if you're going to get it covered, does that mean that Jeremy's going to have just like a fucking sleeve? No, you just have a short sleeve, but it's only on the one side, so it's totally uneven.
But people do that.
You could be Yakuza. Exactly.
Yeah.
They get the tattoos that just fit underneath their shirts.
You have tattoos, Lori Beth?
I haven't any tattoos.
Maybe we'll go together.
Here's some bad advice for you. Get some. Get them now. Get them now. Get them right now.
Yeah.
Make sure I
should get a heart right here and just see how far down it travels.
No, LB. Remember when we did the nostalgia personified at Sketchfest, and then you ran into Clayton Snyder, who is the teen heartthrob in Lizzie McGuire.
Did he have a tattoo?
We did that weird independent film. We were in that one scene. You, me, Aaron Schwartz, and Clayton. And then you ran into him because you had Petunia still on your tit.
That's right. Can I tell you something, Danny? I don't know if you know this. I have a feeling you do. We did this really weird thing. I don't know what it was. This like short film, one weird scene. The only reason I really stepped into it was because he said, oh, we got, Danny's going to do it. So then I called
and
Danny.
The only
and
reason
like,
I did it is because they said you were going to do it.
Okay.
Oh,
okay. I see what's been happening. I see what happened.
Really?
I see what
Is
happened.
that really
here.
what happened?
They double bamboozled us. Yeah.
Oh,
Double.
wow.
It's a double boozle. Nice.
So we go there. I still don't know what it's about. I still don't understand. In all fairness, I didn't read the script. We just had our scene. Our scene had like no context to me. We had fun. They seemed to like what they got. They've sent out the trailer for it, and it looks amazing. It looks creepy, stylish. It looks
double
great.
bamboozles work.
Great.
I don't know what to tell you.
Did you see it? Did you see it? It's called
Ham on Rye.
Ham on Rye.
Ham on Rye.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you see the trailer?
Can you find it at hamonrye.com?
It looks very cool. It's very Jim Jarmusch-y for sure.
Yeah,
you're saying it's black and white?
No, it's in color, but it's got that vibe. It's got that vibe.
Okay.
It does. The trailer does what a trailer should do because I'm intrigued and I want to see the movie.
Yeah.
Wow. And there's no guy going, in a world where kids are stuck in purgatory.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
I'm not sure exactly what it is either. But
somehow in my head, it's this mixture, and I'm totally wrong, of like Pleasantville and Welcome to the Dollhouse.
So there is a black and white element too, and I like it.
It just seems like something really sinister and weird, and I really can't wait to see it.
And we're just in one weird scene with just you, me,
weird scene.
Aaron Schwartz and Clayton Snyder
playing Uno in a post-apocalyptic camp.
You guys played Uno without me?
Yeah, we did.
I'm sorry, baby.
We tried to FaceTime you, but your phone was fucked up. I don't know what's going on.
I carry a deck of Uno cards in my car. Little known fact.
Ooh. Is that true?
Yeah, there's a deck of Uno cards in my car, and also a spare Leatherman just in case.
And do you challenge the cop? You challenge the cop to a round of Uno.
You can write me that ticket if you can beat me. Yeah.
Reversies.
Or you could draw
the ticket.
Or you could draw for it. It's up to you. You make the call.
Sir, I am pulling you over in the first place because you were going in reverse. And
I'd like to skip this part of the conversation.
Is the film imagine that?
And
just
they
like
say blue fours matter.
Billion dollar idea.
Blue fours matter.
Billion dollar idea. Love it, LB. That's
director of Ham on Rye, Tyler or something.
Yeah.
Tyler Tamoria.
Now you're just making shit up.
He has a feature in Filmmaker magazine for the trailer premiere. So check that out. Very reputable source.
Did you get invited to the premiere of the trailer?
Can you imagine it's just like 20 minutes and everybody pieces out?
They only paid me to fly me out. You know what I mean? Hope you got twice as much as I did because I had to pay for my airfare.
For the airfare, exactly. You just wear a very small outfit for the trailer premiere.
You know why I'm sad? You know, I'm just changing the subject entirely, and I don't know what you have planned.
No.
But
zero.
Nothing's planned in this podcast.
It's you know what's funny? I was thinking that. I'm like, I got to give room for them to move on to the segment that they have planned. And I'm like, they don't.
My mother is so subtle. She's like, oh, do you do any research for your podcast? I didn't think she was trying to start a conversation. She was like, do you prepare for your podcast? She's really giving me an opening to say, oh yeah, but I couldn't lie to her.
Yeah.
About that.
It has been a year apparently because I keep getting like Facebook memories come up of when you and me were on tour, Danny.
Don't be sad. That's good.
Remember when we did our thingy and it was fun?
Yeah, it was very fun. It was very fun.
Yeah, those were really fun.
I miss doing that. Yeah, I mean, what would be really fun is that we figure out a way to do a nostalgia personified with all of us virtually.
Yes.
Let's talk about that right now.
I can make it happen.
We can bring it all together, and we can do
all of us and the puppet from Cousin Skeeter.
Oh yeah, no, I have him. He.
That sounds like a Twilight Zone episode.
He's 69's my Groucho Marx original doll that I have.
He's got Elmo in a full Nelson right now.
I mean, you know, it's really weird. It's funny that you just said. I mean, this just made me think about. There was a bar in New Jersey when I was
called Cousin Skeeters that you could drink underage at.
Called the Shepherd and the Knucklehead, which I definitely drank underage at.
That sounds like
and the guy
sounds like a
was the
poem by
bartender.
Lewis Carroll.
I know. Well, yes, and he thought he was very smart.
There was a bartender,
owner, but the bartender who was hired by the owner was my buddy Pat, who was a year older than me, and he was like 19 and serving. So I knew when he was working, so I could go there when I was 18, and I learned how to drink. But the owner knew who I was because he liked, his kids watched Nickelodeon or whatever, but he was like the biggest Cousin Skeeter fan, and like it was just a constant barrage of questions
like, hey,
about a show that I wasn't on. And I was like,
to Cousin Skeeter?
I was like, yeah. I just told him anything. I was like, oh yeah, whatever. Are you gonna? He's like, oh yeah, no, I'll refill your pint. I was like, okay. Yeah, Cousin Skeeter's great. He just like made up all these lies.
He invited me to his house. I met all his puppet friends.
I just kept feeding his fucking desire to hear all about it.
It's funny that you bring that up because Danny and I, back in our Man Boobs days, we wrote a sketch called Puppet Bang Bus.
Oh dear! Excellent.
Yes.
No, it was a great idea. It was
a
very funny sketch.
Troubling.
No, I said I pictured it, I registered it, and then I said, "All right, did you make it?"
You said, all right.
We wrote it.
For the sketch comedy producers out there, let us know if you have a budget. We'll shoot this.
It was one of those.
You got a budget and you got some fun puppets. We got it. And
if anyone out there is looking to finance a holiday special.
Oh. Yeah. Puppet Bang Bus, voiced by your favorite child actors.
Silver platter.
Funny. Like you do the same thing as the regular Bang Bus. You coerce a woman to come off the street, and then they get in the bus, and there's a fucking puppet.
But it's not just a puppet. It's a puppet with a guy in complete black, head to toe, with the face out. With that what is it called? Spandex uniform?
Yeah,
controlling
like
the
puppet, like the puppeteers are in black and they're not, there. So it's a dude holding the puppet and she has to have sex with the puppet. It's disgusting. And
Patreon.com/Danny and Mike. We'll make it. Let's go.
I'd rather not be associated with that concept if I could just take Danny and blank just for the one.
Okay.
We have a ton of those in the same exact vein. So anybody out there,
and by those you specifically mean aborted ideas.
Yes,
like Orgy Blinders Thoroughbred Edition. That was a good one. We had if you don't want to see. If you want to be a part of an orgy, but you don't want to see everything going around, you can get the horse blinder ones where you only see what's going on in front of you.
And that's like an infomercial for me.
Yes,
exactly. Touting the magic powers of such.
Yeah, if you're in a relationship and you're not really sure and they want to swing and you don't really want to, but you want to go along with it for the, just to stay in the relationship, you get the blinder flaps so you can't see what's going on.
Yeah.
You're participating, but you're not fully participating, is what you're saying.
Correct. Yeah, you're participating in what you want to participate in.
So it's basically a GHB contraption.
Well,
Jeremy. Jeremy's trying to do the math. He's trying to do the math
right
now.
On that. Yeah. He's like, sorry, it's a Southern Ohio
it's not
education.
The GHB, it's just a GH.
This episode is going to come with a lot of content warnings.
Yes.
Yes, several.
Hey, Mike, I like the
nice mug.
I like what you're drinking out of.
What is it?
Yeah, it's been a while since we did a comic book convention.
We did that same comic book convention. Then,
well, you have to tell the people that can't see.
With Lori, for the
what
was
listener,
it called?
Hudson Valley Comic Con.
Yeah, Hudson Valley Comic Con.
Oh yeah,
I remember that you got Lori Beth and I think you had the puppet as well for that one, right? And Josh Server.
We had Josh Server to do it too.
Yeah,
don't call him a puppet anymore. I will not stand for that.
Here's the thing. I brought my cup because for the listener, he's drinking out of a cup that was a all you can drink soda. Like, ooh, cool. Like this guy makes soda and he brings it to Comic-Cons and he charges you $15 for the cup and some drinks, but then you can have as much as you want.
Oh,
so I brought mine the next year when you guys were there, being like,
and he said it's expired.
Nah, he had a different colored cup. That's
so you got a Moscow Mule cup that next year instead,
I went to go put it up there. He's like, "Oh, sorry, that's last year's mug. It'll still be $15." I was like, "Yeah."
It's just like
So what? You walked backwards away from the. You backed
away
from
the. It's a lifetime supply of this man's.
Yeah, why not?
Vintage soda.
You know what? I'm like, you know what? Your ruby red birch beer is okay, but it's not great. Could be better.
It's like when you tried to slip the wristbands off at a show back in the 90s so you could give them to somebody else to get in, you know what I mean? Or, do the stamp transfer. You ever do that?
Yes.
You had to lick the thing.
Did that work?
Transfer.
Yeah, it worked.
Did that work?
Yeah.
There was a time in my life when I was in my late 20s and I was dating a girl who was almost 21, but not quite. And we went to a New Year's Eve show in New York at
that wasn't Fish. I don't believe it.
It wasn't Fish. It wasn't Fish.
I don't know. This doesn't sound like you.
It was at Terminal 5. It was John Medeski. It was called The Words. It was a bunch of like jam people. And right in front of the security guard, I took my 21 and over wristband off and gave it to her. And they looked at me and I said, "I lost it." And they were like, "Don't fucking lie to me, bud." But I like your tenacity, and they just gave me a new one, and they just let me go through.
He goes, "You've got cheek.
You've got cheek,
young man." Yeah, I like it. I like the starch in your shirt.
Might have been the same security guard that when I saw the Stooges there, that because Iggy Pop was in it. I was like, "Oh, I know Iggy Pop. He was on Pete and Pete," and I wrote a note. And I was like, "Oh, maybe we can hang out after the show or just like to say hello." And I gave it to the fucking people in the ticket booth and they were like, "Get the fuck out of here, kid." I was like, "No, you don't understand. I was on the show with him." And he's like, yeah, a lot of people were on a show with Iggy Pop. Get the fuck out of here, kid.
Hey, Danny, I will correct you. He was on the show with the two of you.
Oh, nice.
Well,
nice.
You're right.
Yeah,
and maybe I should have been more confident about it. Hey, this is good advice.
It wasn't called The Adventures of Nona's Dad.
Oh, she's got a point.
The Adventures of Pete and Pete. Featuring sometimes Nona's awesome dad, Iggy Pop.
With the "and" spelled out, I believe. If you've got a problem with how we relate our show, let us know at 347-470-8150.
There you go.
If you got a problem. If you like it, let us know anyway. If you're from Ohio, there's a separate number. It's 347-470-8150.
That is not as couchy. That is not as catchy as my 800 number, which is 1-855 Denberg, 1-855-DENBERG.
Well, that's perfect.
Get me Denberg. Get me Denberg.
I mean, your father is like, yes, my last name is finally doing something good. It's seven letters. It's 7 letters, and it perfectly works.
It does work well for a phone number.
For people, well, it's not my personal number. If you're calling in thinking we're going to chat, you're ridiculous. And it's much appreciated. Yeah. But that's where people can call to leave messages, to ask questions for me to give them advice for the podcast.
Excuse me, bad advice, not just advice, but bad advice.
No, but it's not though. It's just a cheeky name, Mike.
I just thought it was cheeky. Exactly.
So it's not just a clever name.
Well, I made it worse.
I'm going to call into 855 Denberg. I got a lot of fucking. I need a lot of advice.
I made it worse because right after we had talked about the title, and LB's like, "No, stick with that," and I'm like, "Cool." I booked AskLoriBeth.com, and I was like, I don't know, for whatever. So all of the socials are Ask Lori Beth, but then the podcast is called,
though.
Bad Advice.
I think
but I think it's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think it's good that all the Ask Lori Beth, it's very conversational.
Yeah.
Just it's an opener.
Ask Lori Beth.
It's an opener.
No, I love it.
Hey everybody, it's Elaine Welteroth, and I'm hosting a new podcast called Built to Last by American Express, where we will dive deep into the stories, history, and continued legacy of small businesses that shape American culture. Our debut season will focus on Black-owned small businesses that need our support now more than ever. In each episode, we feature the story of a Black business trailblazer that has inspired a modern Black-owned business. First up is Pinky Cole of Atlanta's food truck turned restaurant, Slutty Vegan. We'll also chat with Hanifa Mwemba, the cutting-edge designer behind the Hanifa 3D digital fashion show. Plus, we'll check in with Issa Rae, our modern-day Renaissance woman. We hope that it encourages all of our listeners to support these businesses as well as the Black-owned businesses in your own communities. Tune in for these amazing stories and others on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.
Hey there. Thanksgiving is right around the corner, and there's one thing we can all be thankful for. Free pickup at Kroger. Whether it's tender, juicy turkey, savory stuffing, or those creamy, buttery mashed potatoes your fam can't get enough of, you can save a lot of time when you pick up all your fresh favorites curbside at Kroger. So order for free pickup at Kroger.com or the app and make more time for living this Thanksgiving. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Free pickup on orders of $35 or more. Restrictions may apply.
But yeah, so I'm hoping, we've already gotten calls and we're also taking the, questions from anywhere. We have a Facebook page, Instagram, whatever. If any listeners are here, look at we're at Ask Lori Beth on Instagrams and Twitters. And there's a Facebook page and there's, the phone number. So I'm hoping that once we get going and if people hopefully like the show, we'll be able to help many, many people.
Danny, if you'd like to slip a note to her, maybe she could answer it that way.
I need a lot of help, LB. So
I know you do, honey.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because
look. Last time Lori Beth was around here.
Look how big he is.
Lori Beth,
Hi, babe.
you know, but for the listener, when we did our shows last year, we had just moved to the downstairs 3-bedroom apartment from the 1-bedroom apartment.
Yeah, literally like within the last 24 hours.
Yeah.
Dan will only let me cut Alfie's hair, which is why it looks like that.
Hi,
That's right.
Bells.
We haven't had a chance to say hello yet. Say hello.
Hi, Schmel.
For the listener, that's Alfie.
Uh-oh.
Is
that
Alfie with an F.
And Alfie smells like the worst.
Danny, why do you keep putting it back on?
Yeah, just leave it off.
This is what
it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you like it, then you better put a diaper on it.
If you like it, then you better put a diaper on it. If you like it, then you better put a diaper on it. Will you guys talk for just 1 second while I change his diaper? Is that okay?
No.
That's
You have to
it.
never break eye contact while changing the diaper, because that's what I did.
Well, that leads to.
Or do you think it was really Alfie that needed to be changed?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's like,
that
that's
leads
my
us
cover.
to what, my love?
Well, that leads me to a segment that I'll text Danny about while he's changing. But I wanted to see if maybe you would give the guys some bad advice, and I would completely go first.
Oh,
that way Mike can think.
Yeah,
Danny
dear Lori
change
Beth,
and
I think my dog has pneumonia. What should I do?
I already told him we talked yesterday.
Sincerely, Jeremy.
I am giving out advice for people and their pets. We actually do a segment about that in the second episode. But yes, I spoke to Jeremy at length yesterday and today before this podcast about
that must
Mr.
have been
Richie
a challenge.
Face.
Yes.
No, because I said, "How's puppy?"
Okay.
He told me the puppy was going to the vet today, and then I called to inquire as to how that went.
What was the
Nice,
advice?
well, the advice was what he had already planned, which was that, it sounds, and he sent me a video of the coughing that Richie was doing. And I said, yeah, it seems like.
What did he think? Do you think you were going to diagnose him from a video?
No, I'm not going to diagnose him, but I would say, yeah, that seems like a chest x-ray situation. Hopefully it's pneumonia, but it'd be great if it's pneumonia and we know there's an issue and that it can be solved. So knowing is half the battle. Yeah. And I am turning my cell phone off.
So Danny,
sorry guys,
go ahead.
We're having a 17-month in a week. He's like he's become Bam Bam. He just throws everything. He's like really
he's so
friggin' cute. He's really into like, ooh, I can do this. Like I'm gonna do this now. And he didn't eat very well, I guess. Mommy said that
and then he does it again.
Job. I hear all I heard was when I went to go change him because I saw the look on her face and she ran in there and she goes, I'm at my wit's end. And he's kind of been that all day.
Do you want to take care of the kid and she can sit in on the podcast for a while?
No, that's fine. That's fine. No, I have enough confidence in her that she won't kill.
Give Dan some bad advice now.
The baby.
Yeah, I guess you just did, which was have your wife pinch hit for you on the podcast while you change a dirty diaper.
That's what I was going to say. I wanted to end the episode with...
Oh, no, she just kind of walked through the back. You know what's so weird? I mean, I spent, as you guys have, I'm sure, and as most of America has, spent the last 8 whatever months on Zoom. And, I do like 12-step meetings. I do a bunch of stuff, video chatting, all this kind of stuff. Whenever anybody walks behind someone in the frame, I'm absolutely convinced they're going to get murdered.
You can't even watch.
I know that they live with their girlfriend. I know she's in the back. She's walked by. I'm like, oh,
watch out!
That's the end of it. Watch out! That guy's got a knife.
Yeah, you can't watch the video with the guy with the little Korean daughter, the little Korean kid anymore who rolls by on the kid thing in the background.
No, just whenever anybody's in the background.
Ooh, I'm sorry, guys. I got to go to another Zoom, and it's a woman
getting murdered.
I'm just gonna.
Oh no!
No one's gonna pull a Jeffrey.
You're not.
No one wants to pull a Jeffrey.
You're not writing for the New Yorker anymore. We got it.
If you need help with Zoom security, you let me know because I have been through it. We had I've had unfortunately an amount of experiences with.
I don't know if any of you used chat roulette, but I sure didn't. It sounded like such a weird and random thing that I just could not be bothered.
I have so many screenshots of you on chat roulette, Mike. It's weird.
You can fabricate whatever you like.
It's true. It's very easy.
Clearly, you made a baby. He's sitting on your lap right now.
I have a photo of Michael signing the papers to incorporate chat roulette into the company. So.
It's all a plot. It's all a Russian plot. Hey, handsome.
Yes. So what are we doing? Al, you need some advice?
I would like some bad advice if you're done with Danny.
Do you need some advice? The advice is
should I poop or should I go?
Should you poop? Should you go? Will you? Hey, Alfie. Alfie, where's your hair? Where's your hair? Can you show us where your hair is?
For the listener, Alfie is not pointing at his head.
He is not pointing at his head.
Alfie is over
where's your nose? Where's your nose? Yeah, there's your
nose.
Alfie, where's the inside of your nose?
Alfie, where's your hair? Yeah, that's your hair. That's right. Right, now you got it. For the listener,
Alfie, where's your solar plexus?
He does all the monkey.
There it is. That's a solar plexus.
There it is.
Went right for it.
So I had said right before you left, I thought it would be a good idea to maybe get some bad advice before we shove off here.
Oh, sure.
If you guys can think of stuff, I'll go ahead and do mine.
Are we almost done? This has been
done.
Yeah, we got another 12 minutes. 12 minutes.
I was ready for another 2 hours. All right, let me give you. Let's see if I can give you some
It's
advice.
not the Joe Rogan experience, LB.
Mine is this. Dear LB and Clark, but LB in this scenario. I have a dog.
LB and Clark, the famous Western explorers?
Yeah. I have a dog when walking. This is for dog.
When it's able to
attack anything that's small.
Holy
and
shit!
moving.
Get a new dog. You know I said this in the text, dude.
Listen, Michael.
I'm freelancing. Yeah.
I need to be able to hear. We need to treat everyone with respect.
Go for it, LBLA.
And when you ask me your question, I won't let Jeremy interrupt you. Okay.
Okay, but I'm not gonna have I'm not gonna have a bitey dog. Go ahead.
You don't have to have a bitey dog, Jeremy. When you're walking your dog.
I have a senior dog who basically attacks anything small and moving. And that could even be in, like the other day we were in the dog store and he jumped at a woman whose dog was in her arms and pushed the woman into a corner.
Oh no.
Oh my God.
Yes. That was the day I forgot to put his mouth noose or whatever on him, his mouth cage thingy.
It's called a muzzle.
Muzzle.
And it's something that Alfie keeps pulling off of Danny's microphone.
Yeah, just keep it off. It's fine. So that's my question. How do I, do you have any tips on avoiding my larger dog attacking anything small?
Wow. Well, I would assume, because I know you.
Yes.
I would assume you already have your dog on a harness.
Correct.
and
a muzzle, as he said.
And do you have a muzzle or do you have a gentle leader?
I have a leader. Yes, that I have a leader.
Oh, you have a general leader.
Yes.
And does he pull in general or only
Isn't
when
that
he
what
goes
Kim
after
Jong-un
something?
calls himself as the gentle leader?
It's much different. No. Yeah, it just closes his mouth and has a little zip thing on the bottom that keeps it closed. Yeah. So it's not like I didn't want to use any.
Oh no, but a gentle leader is for dogs that pull. And it's so does he pull all the time or does he just go after stuff?
Just when he goes after stuff, yeah.
Can you
just when he goes after stuff.
Mute Mike too?
Can't mute me. I'm unmutable.
So if that's the case and he is big and powerful, you really have to take the responsibility and be very careful where you take him.
Okay.
I know your dog-ish. Now, is he wants to go after and eat little things?
I see, that's the thing. I don't know. Sometimes he's wagging his tail. Sometimes looks like he's going to kill them. And
okay, we go to the pound. We rescue just a raggedy old cat that no one's going to love anyway.
Okay.
And we just let it happen and we see how things turn out.
Okay. That's perfect. Please, no more.
I'd like to have all the information.
Perfectly
I'd like to have
bad
all the
advice.
Facts.
That's some classic bad advice there from LB.
But
okay.
I know that you're trying to,
That's
true.
It's good advice.
I know.
It was good. Yeah.
Look,
any
the
random
good advice
stuffed
in that
animal
is that's one less cage for an animal shelter if you're taking a shitty, crappy, annoying, disgusting-looking cat out of the cage.
There's obvious anti-cat bias here that I will not stand for.
Mike is not having it. Okay.
Mike, what's the bad advice that you need?
What question do you have, Mike?
I'm about to get a kitten. This is complete coincidence, but I'm about to get a kitten. Yes.
Cool. So you need tips?
No.
Oh, wonderful. Well, are you going to get two? Why don't you get two so they have each other to play with?
Yeah, I'm just going to get one because it's more of a loner.
Because you want them to be as lonely as you, Mike.
Yeah,
come
exactly.
on.
Yeah, I'm going to drag them down with me in my spiral. My spiral of depression.
Though, I'm interested as to why. Do you just want it to be a solitary relationship, or
no?
I just feel like you can leave them longer when they have someone else there.
We were going to get 4.
Oh,
then one of them died.
All right.
And my baby mom is keeping 2 of them. So that's why I'm getting one. That's why I'm getting one.
I see.
Yeah, I'm guessing that either the siblings or the cold killed one of the other kittens.
And is this from the surrogate that you impregnated to make these cats? Where are the cats coming
No, it's actually from my mom's backyard. They've been living underneath her neighbor's deck or something like that.
Wow. I see.
Yeah, so it was very easy to capture them.
Gotcha, smartcha.
It's funny you say impregnated because that's the same joke Mike made when I told him about the dog going to the vet, and he was trying to say that
just give it
the
back.
dog was important. And then I was like, "Yeah, he's a kid. He's basically a kid now."
Just
and
give the dog back.
Did you give birth to him?
You're under no requirements to keep the dog.
I know, but there's an emotional attachment at this point, and
yeah,
I want to
you're
make
basically mining your relationship with the dog for podcast content. That's not ethical at all.
No,
it's not ethical. It's not ethical.
There's no way. I bring it up because I'm asked. There's not doing it because I'm like.
I think we've hit on something here.
Uh-oh.
Mike, can you tell me what an emotional attachment is?
Not in so many words.
I understand. I know this. I see where we're starting from, Mike, and I'm here for you.
Okay, but this is supposed to be bad advice, though.
No, but it turned into very good advice.
That's the thing. You never know.
I think I'd like my money back. I came here for bad advice, not whatever
podcast.
This is.
All right,
do we have a question from Danny?
Oh, my question is, I have
I didn't have a question, first of all.
No, you didn't have a question. You just sort of explained what was going on in your life.
I should say, as always, over the last 25 years, I just give Mike unsolicited pushy advice on what he should be doing.
That's true. That is absolutely true.
I accept it.
And he takes it for more.
He takes it like a champion. He takes it like a champ. He takes it like a champ every time.
Champ noted.
Well, you're behind the Liverpool Football Club, like full of all the Danny and Mike stuff behind you.
Oh, crack that championship beer.
They want. I still have a championship beer, Carlsberg, unopened with waiting for you, and it's very hard not to drink it because I get down to the dregs, and I see that, and I'm like, fuck Mike, man, I could just drink this myself. He doesn't deserve this. But then my morals kick in, and I'm like, you know what? Nah, he does, and I want to have a nice moment where
I watch him drink my beer.
I can cheers him with my normal green Carlsberg can, and he can cheers me with the red Liverpool Football Club can, and it'll be a beautiful thing.
Aren't corporations wonderful?
I mean, yeah, it's true. It's true. So my question for you, Lori Beth, is that I don't know how to organize my time anymore.
He's totally Kaiser Sozeing you right now. He's looking around his room that he's sitting in and trying to come up with it. He's like, my coffee mug gives me a lot of pencil sharpening.
Yeah, I live in Brooklyn, and it's in between Bushwick and Bedford-Stuyvesant and Crown Heights, and I'm just curious to know if my 17-month-old son
has pneumonia.
We should go get an X-ray.
Get an old scraggly cat.
She's stuck on automatic. LB's stuck on automatic.
You're having trouble with your time and your 17-month-old son.
It's just very hard. It's hard to organize time for ourselves. It's hard to organize time with the baby. It's hard to do our work. We all work from home at this point. The pandemic has made it very difficult to do anything but work from home and split time and not have any sort of caretaking and we don't have a babysitter. Like it's just the three of us 24/7 constantly.
You do have in-laws.
Yeah, but the in-law, I mean, we'll get a week a month reprieve, but it's not even that because they don't change diapers. They don't do all the hard stuff.
Oh, they're not allowed to change diapers? I didn't realize that.
No, they're allowed to, but they're like, I don't want to, like this is, look, we'll try to.
They want you to have that experience. I understand.
We'll play with the kid until they get frustrated, and then we got to send them back to their parents. It's like, I'm just sitting here writing a fucking pitch for something, and Kate's like trying to sell books and do all these things, and we're just sitting here.
Did they say our family doesn't change diapers? And you go, that explains so much about Kate.
as I turn my left hand back to my asshole and I scratch because it's itchy.
Yeah. Yes. Here's what I would say to you, Danny, because it's hard, and so many people are in that position, and you do have at least that one week a month that you're going to Pennsylvania to the old farmhouse that I slept in.
Between her parents and my parents, we pretty much split it up.
You have some, but what I would say is, honestly, really look at what y'all have got going on and see what you can throw out the window. Because everything you want to do isn't the same thing as everything you need to do.
I can throw him out the window. He's 27 pounds.
You should attach a tether, get a tether on him first, just because. You know what? I would suggest a gentle leader. I think that might be the best solution.
But no, if I have 10 things I need to get done, but 3 of those things aren't things I need to get done. They're things I want to get done. Not right now, but it's like, I want to do all this today. I want to get my nails done. I need to go to work. I need to pick up this check. I need to do this audition. It's like, I didn't get what I wanted done. It's like, well, I didn't need to do my nails. I'm putting that pressure on myself to check everything off my list. So it's like, if there are things that, talking to Mike might be one of them that you can just not do that day.
He takes that choice all the time.
Lori Beth, I guess you just killed our podcast.
As one begins, one comes to an end.
Podcast no more.
Well, but Lori Beth opened up a second podcast, which is called Reasonable Advice.
I know my second podcast is called Backpedaling with Lori Beth Denberg.
I didn't exactly mean it that way.
Yeah. No, it sucks. And the important thing is that what I know you have is your relationship with Kate, where she can just go to you, I am at my fucking wit's end. And you say, okay, I'm doing my podcast and I'm taking a naked baby on my knee. And that's just how things go. That's how things go right now.
That's how it goes. It's true. The one positive I have of all of this is that we
live on the ground floor in a 3-bedroom apartment.
Yeah, as opposed to the 4th floor of a 1-bedroom apartment in the same building, which is great. But the fact that like between you and I doing Nostalgia Personified and Mike and I doing Nostalgia Personified and Jounce playing shows and being gone 100 days out of the year. Ooh, for the podcast listener.
For the Patreon viewer.
For the Patreon viewer, not the pod. Well, look, all podcast listeners should be Patreon viewers.
They should, even really $1.
It's not that
all Patreon viewers are podcast listeners, but not the other way around.
Wouldn't you be saying it correctly? Because the Patreon viewers are the ones that can see what he did. For just the podcast listeners, you need to explain what he did.
Explain what's going on.
Yeah.
That's true.
I have to thank.
No, you're right, Lori Beth.
I have to thank Michael Pace of Worst Gig Ever for introducing that phrase into our oeuvre of for the listener.
Yes.
It was
for the listener.
For the listener.
You're right. That was from Mike Pace.
It should be a separate segment on the Danny and Mike podcast. So maybe I'll work on that.
Oh, but we didn't say for just the podcast listener who cannot see the video that they could, if they would like to contribute to the Patreon for this show and support the artistry therein. Mike
it's
has
at
a super cool
Danny and Mike with the N spelled out.
That's it.
With the N spelled out. Mike's actually just wearing this really kick-ass, kind of old schooly Pete and Pete Nostalgia Personified shirt.
Thank you.
It's true.
I think it's neat.
Shirt.
Anyway,
all I was trying to say is that most of the time between March and right now, I would have been on the road maybe 90, 100 days, and now I've spent every day with my son watching him grow. And that's the positive spin that I have in the whole quarantine.
That's super smushy.
But it's also still fucking stressful as shit.
Yeah, it's and that's exactly it. And everybody has every right to feel annoyed, pissed off, crazy, grateful, happy, tired, depressed, whatever it is. Feel what you got to feel. And you can feel all of those things at once if you want. And also kill a dead cat because, I mean, she was on her way.
I'm so tired of this anti-cat bias. I'm really not feeling it.
You're going to say the same thing about a ratty old dog, too. Look, there's a...
Yeah, no, I just said cat just to raise your ire. But, Mikey, why don't you adopt a second kitty to grow up with the kitty you're getting from under the house?
I don't know. This one feels like it's a good... it's a loner, Dottie, a rebel.
Okay.
There's the name right there.
I understand.
Rebel.
Very good.
All right. Great advice. Would you like to plug anything else before we go?
Yeah, it's 1-855 Denberg.
Yeah, we have most of that, but personal stuff. Twitter, Instagram.
Oh, let's get personal.
Oh, yeah. No, I have an Instagram. It's at LB Denberg at Instagram.
Awesome.
Oh, no. Is it Lori Beth Denberg?
I bet if they search your name,
I don't know.
it'll
Don't you remember that we had all these problems?
What's that?
I paid a lot of high-profile people to fix your social media accounts.
I know you did. Hold on, I'm looking at it.
Mm.
I don't want to create a new post.
I
Lori
can
Beth Denberg actor, but it doesn't say what my at is.
I think
it's
if
LB Denberg.
I demand an explanation.
It's LB Denberg. It's LB Denberg, but you can also please go to. I know. You can find me at Remy Balon at LB Denberg on Instagram, at Lori Beth Denberg on the Twitters, and go to askloribeth.com and send us your questions that you need advice about. It doesn't matter what it's about. And I'm here to help promote my podcast. I'm here to help promote my podcast.
Well, we love you very much, Lori Beth, and I'm glad that I got to see it, even if it's two-dimensional right now. Yes, we're touching.
Mike, put your hand up. I'm touching hands. Okay.
Come on, we're all touching hands.
For the podcast listeners, we are a part of the Last Podcast Network. Check them out, lastpodcastnetwork.com. They have a bunch of great stuff. Also, check out our Patreon, patreon.com/Danny and Mike with the N spelled out. We have a store, shop.dannyandmike.com, which has a sale right now. All of the fall crap is cheap. Go get it. Sweatshirts, long sleeves.
And a special hotline for Buckeye residents. It's 347-470-8150. That's it. Just blow off some steam if you need to. Get political. Don't get political. Just let us know.
Yep. You can find Mike at Michael C. Maronna on the twits. Danny's at D Tamberelli on the Twits and at Danny Tamberelli on the Instas. I am at Jeremy Balon on the Insta, at Remy Balon on the Twits.
It's a W for Wellsville, babe.
I have a podcast called, look at your background.
I was doing Michael C. Maronna.
Thank you.
Oh, MCM.
MCM.
There you go.
I'm
also have a
pretty
podcast
street.
called, Going Dork. Check that out. And we'll be back soon with some more episodes. Please, if you have $1, $5, check out our Patreon. We're doing fun stuff on there. We're trying to put up some more content and stuff. And if you like video episodes, that is the place to go. So thank you all. LB, you're a goddamn joy.
I love you guys.
It's been a pleasure working with you.
I can't wait to listen to your episode.
That was some good advice
tonight.
Yes.
I'm very excited. Yeah, it's going to publish imminently.
Minutes. Yes. So you'll be at Ep2 by the time this comes out.
We'll put a link in the description.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, right?
That's what we'll do.
Yep. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll catch you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye. Leaving it in. The Adventures of Danny and Mike stars Danny Tamberelli and Michael C. Maronna. The show is produced by me, Jeremy Balon. This podcast is part of the Last Podcast Network, which can be found at lastpodcastnetwork.com. Make sure to check that out for a ton of great shows. For more information on the guys, visit our website at dannyandmike.com. Also look us up on Twitter at Danny and Mike with the N spelled out, and on Facebook at facebook.com/The Adventures of Danny and Mike. Thanks for listening.
This show is made possible by listeners like you. Thanks to our ad sponsors, you can support our shows by supporting them. For more shows like the one you just listened to, go to lastpodcastnetwork.com.